All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Strategic Priorities Communication and Intergovernmental Cooperation Committee meeting for January 5th, 2026. Just like to wish everyone a Happy New Year and hope that everybody had a wonderful holiday season. So on that, we'll call the meeting to order. Is there any declarations of conflict of interest? No. Hearing none. Do I have an approval of the agenda? Second, thank you. Approval of the previous draft minutes from November 27th of 2025. Is there any business arising from those minutes?
Yes, Mr. Chair, there is.
There is?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Page 4.
Page 4.
Cellular reception challenges. So I mentioned this to you before that on December 14th, CTV National News reported the dismal situation of cellular service in Prince Edward Island. And I think that we need to address this through FPEIM, Federation of Prince Edward Island Municipalities, or Capital Region, Stratford, Cornwall and Charlottetown, and try to find some kind of path forward. And I just want to, again, I will keep bringing it up because I believe it's imperative that we address this issue sooner than later.
Okay. So I think what I'd respond to that is at our last meeting, we did talk briefly about potentially sending a formal letter. I'm not sure where we are with that, and we don't have to get into a whole lot of
No.
detail today about that, but I think that's probably the first step in kind of voicing our concerns and support of, increased cellular service here on Prince Edward Island, but in Charlottetown in particular.
Yes.
So we'll look at that.
There's another item. Number 7. Same
Number 7.
page. I talked about the Innovation Task Force.
Yep.
That's being headed up by the CAO, Brad McConnell. And Mr. Chair, your IT background gives you lots of experience and a base to work from. We've been working on the fiber network since 2019 through water and wastewater. I'd like to ask if we could ask the CAO and maybe water and wastewater to team up on moving this forward. I think that, and I spoke to Rory about it before the meeting, that it is an IT matter. And I believe that, if we're going to make this move forward, we have to have many hands on deck. So I'm just asking to
Oh, sure, we'll take that
to be
into
noted.
consideration and further that discussion with the work that we're doing with the fiber op in water, waste, sewer, and water, for sure. So on that, just on myself, I just wanted to highlight here under number 7 as well. It did talk that at this meeting here, we would have some updates on the 22-26 strategic plan. I think we're going to defer those until our next meeting. Today's meeting will be solely focused on the budget discussions that we have and the time that we have today. So if we can, we'll just, I don't believe there's anything on the agenda that is updated anyways, but let's just move that to a priority for our next meeting if we could, Melanie. Thank you. And then on that, I believe brings us into, is there any other questions? Oh, sorry, I do have one more underneath the last report. So just on the monument policy as well, we talked about having a draft available by our review, for review in our January meeting. So here we are in our January meeting. Again, it's not on the agenda today, but I think we'll clearly defer that to our February meeting with an update on where we are with that, just in focusing today on the budget, budget aspects. Is that fair?
Yeah. So, Mr. Chair, I think the deputy's online, and I believe she's been asking to get this moved forward as soon as possible.
Yep.
So I think we will put a drop dead date for the next meeting in February.
For sure, yep.
Did
Yes, this meeting today is taking place because of our December meeting fell on Boxing Day.
Oh.
So this is really our December meeting, and we'll still have our meeting.
Okay.
in January.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
so we're still going to have a regular meeting in January. So this
Thank
is
you.
replacing the one that we missed on December 27th or 26th. Okay, so that's fair. So some of those action items that we had in there will still come forward in the last meeting of the month. Okay, great, thank you. Do we have the deputy mayor online? Okay, great, thank you, welcome.
Yes,
Thank
I'm
you.
here.
Sorry, deputy, we proceeded while you were dealing with your technical issues there, so nice to have you here today. Happy New Year.
Yep, I actually have been on. I haven't missed any of the meeting.
Oh,
I've been
great.
here all along.
Oh, thank
Yep.
you. Okay, awesome. Okay, we're going to move into the agenda for today, and we have discussions on our budget. So we're going to lead off with our updates on our IT budget, and Rory, if you will.
Sure. So I'll try to keep things brief, but I'll start with just a quick outline of our budget. The proposed budget is $1,523,500. That includes $210,000 in partner funding. And then on top of that, there's $405,000 in new initiatives proposed. There's also the capital budget of $775,000, which includes a project to increase cell coverage within Simmons Arena and a project to redesign the city's website and move to a new provider and platform. Important to note, this is a draft, so a lot of things will change. One other note, one of the new initiatives that we had was for cybersecurity. That was kind of contingent on some federal funding through a grant application. We did hear back on that grant application, and we did not receive the funding, so we'll kind of move that to the bottom of the priority list and have that as probably a deferred thing for another year.
So Rory, just before you move on, just back on the operational budget for 26, 27, I guess it would be on page 7 of our digital copy. One of the questions I had regarding that was the line item for phones. I assume that majority of that budget is the cellular phones across the corporation. Is that correct?
So that includes landlines, cell phones, modems, and it also includes coverage for radios as well, and licensing for radios through emergency services and public works.
So with the recent transition from Bell to Eastlink, was there a significant savings? Because if you look at the overall savings here, there's only about a $24,000 savings. So I'm wondering how much of that was realized within that migration.
Yeah, so most of those savings are because of the migration, projecting about $30-ish thousand in savings. But we're also adding a few services to a few new buildings, so it's expanding a little bit. So it's not quite the full amount saved.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Okay, continue, just so we can follow along with you, if you could just reference where you were. I assume if we're on page 8 or if we're moving into your new initiative forms. Is that where you want to start?
Sure, yeah, so I just started on page 5, we're done of that, so I'll just, for the operational budget, if we go to page 7, I think is the right page, yeah, 7. I'm just going to quickly go over the kind of the major changes in where the budget went. So the largest increase we saw is for network support and maintenance agreement, which is increasing by about $100,000. About $40,000 of that is for some services that we're only billed for every 2 to 3 years. About $30,000 of that is just increased costs due to increased staffing. So our previous years reflected an understaffing level, and now that we're fully staffed, we need the increased licensing. And then the rest of them, it's just services increasing due to regular rate increases, so that's about $30,000. Moving on to service level agreements, that's increasing by about $10,000 for regular rate increases. Software subscription is increasing by about $40,000, and that's due to increased staffing levels again, as well as regular rate increases. And then network services, are seeing an increase of about 10,000. That's because we're adding a few new locations with the Simmons Arena getting some increased service, and Euston Street, we're expecting to provide service to that in the new year. So I think that's most of the kind of the major increases across the operational budget. If there's any questions on any of those, I can go into more detail.
I don't think so. I mean, they're pretty standard uptake in fees and services annually by the looks of it. Doesn't seem to be anything overly net new there. So a lot of that is just adjustments by increasing staffing, obviously from a desktop software, subscription, phones, et cetera. Anytime we increase the complement of staff, we obviously have to increase the cost of associated tools and technologies that come along with that. Any questions on the floor?
Yes, Mr. Chair. So the issue about cybersecurity, as you probably know, Mr. Chair, working in this area, is very important. And it's too bad that we didn't have the capital region involved in that application, because I think that lessened the impact of dealing with a region rather than just one municipality. And hopefully that opportunity will come again, because many municipalities and corporations and provincial, federal governments across the world are facing cyber security issues. So I think it's very important that we stay focused on that issue. And if I look at the priority, there it is, Simmons Arena. So you go out to Bell Alliance Center, that's with Bell Alliance, the service out there, the IT service, cellular service is challenging, and more the Wi-Fi. Is it similar at Cody Banks, Eastlink? Like, if we're doing one, should we not look at all of our facilities? I'm just,
I'm not quite sure I understand.
so when you go to the Eastlink Center, we are on Eastlink account with the service, cellular, Wi-Fi, and hardwire. Just want to, if we're doing one facility, Simmons, should we not be looking at all our facilities?
Just to be clear, are you referring to the
Wi-Fi.
the capital item about increasing the cell coverage?
Includes a project to increase cell coverage within Simmons Arena.
Yeah.
So just sorry to, I'm not sure, are you jumping ahead? I'm not following where you're at in your line of questioning. And I just want to be where you are. I'm not.
I'm just summing them all up. You have operations and capital.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to expedite this.
Yeah, I understand,
so
but
that
I'm not where you're at. So
Right.
Can you bring us back to where?
I'm on page 5 where it says the total capital budget is $775. I'm all right with the
You're on to capital. So
operational. Operational is fine.
Okay, so I want to ask, is there any questions on the operational side?
Yeah.
And then we'll move on from there, and your line of question can come back at that time. So do we have any questions on the floor regarding the operational that Rory has presented?
Yeah.
From information
Yeah,
technology?
just this quick question. The GIS GPS, I know it's shared with, we do have it in water and wastewater. How much do we have it within your department? GPS.
So the GIS, we have the GIS licensing
Right.
under the IT department.
Right.
Yeah, that's the only piece that's under the IT department. is
Right.
The licensing.
And how many employees do we have with GIS GPS?
I believe it's 3 at the moment.
3.
Yeah.
3. Okay, and that would also cover all our services. Like if we go with the fiber network, we would have that on GPS, GIS, so forth.
I believe so. It's not really something
your-
I've
It's not in
kinda
your area yet.
focused on. Yeah.
Yep, okay, thank you.
Okay, so Rory, if there's no further questions, then we can move into page 9, I guess, on the new initiatives.
Yeah. So
Chair, Justin,
Go ahead,
Councilor Matard,
sorry.
are the new initiatives under operational? Because if they are, I have one quick question there, and that was on the cyber infrastructure security.
Yep, so there's a couple operational for the operational as well, yep.
Okay, so my question is, at the beginning of the meeting, I heard Rory indicate that they weren't successful in getting the funding. And then the mayor followed up with that, that if we were doing a regional thing, maybe we would have been more successful. But I just wanted to highlight, is cybersecurity not something that should be high priority in terms of whether we got funding or not? Would we see this as something that we should be proceeding with in our budget, whether we got funding or not? Just putting it out there.
So I agree, and there is an initiative for Initiative 3 here, which is cybersecurity. So that's where I was going to, well, I was waiting to see where we got the update on the funding. And then, so I support those comments, Deputy, on that. I just was waiting for Rory to speak to it in Initiative number 3.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can go to the new initiatives now, and I'll just start with new initiative 3. It is very important. It's also quite expensive. Without the funding, kind of the staff recommendation would be to go forward with new initiative number 5, which is the second IT specialist. That will give us some ability to focus on cybersecurity, not as much ability, but some ability above and beyond what we do now. If we wanted to fund all 3 positions, I mean, we'd be able to do a lot more. We'd be able to catch up a lot faster, but I don't know that would be a staff recommendation.
So sorry, Rory, are you suggesting that, so let me ask the question, on that funding that you were seeking, the $210,000 funding, was that to offset the positions that you're looking for in section 3 or initiative number 3?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
And then have you explored options of outsourcing our cybersecurity, like posture and in support of that? And what would that look like?
So we do have some cybersecurity that is outsourced. So we have the kind of a network operations center that does monitor our security. But the issue there is it getting into the nitty gritty of looking at logs on a daily basis and things like that, where it's not really an ideal use of consulting, where you'd be better off having someone in there every day doing it. That's kind of the, yeah. If there's no other questions, I can keep going on the new initiatives, or?
Yeah, let's keep going, and we'll see if it sparks some more conversation around that cybersecurity. I think it's something that we need to be addressing, I think, one way or the other. How that looks, we may not determine that here today, but I think it is definitely something that, as a corporation, that we need to have front and center and top of mind as to how we address cybersecurity within the corporation. So we'll jump back up our number 1 there.
Yeah, so new initiative number 1 is on page 9. It's IT research and advisory services. This is really just to inform the direction of spending and our direction going forward. Right now, we make this, I would say, educated decisions, but we don't have the data to back it up at the moment. So it would be nice to have some data to back up more of our decisions. This research and advisory services also gives us access to analysts that can focus on specific projects, which would be very useful for the innovation task force. So we can provide some direction to that task force.
And we don't have that ability to do that in-house?
Not to the extent that we could with access to something like this. It's they're very specialized. We don't have the analysts, and we don't have the workload that would justify doing anything full-time for an analyst for that.
Okay, so is that a known entity already? Like, is this a known service, or is this?
There are known services. So the one that I'm aware of is Gartner, but that's not to say that we would have to go with Gartner.
Okay. Okay, any questions on that initiative? No? Okay, moving on to number 2.
So number 2 is on page 11. That's the geospatial strategy. So this is, it's really a putting together a strategy for the GIS team. so that they can have a 3-year timeline for projects and focus for how they will engage with staff across all departments, but also things like engaging with the innovation task force and just providing some direction to the GIS team because they have a lot of priorities.
So again, is that bringing somebody in to facilitate workshops? Like,
Yeah, so that's the objective. Yeah,
again,
so they would
can't
be.
do that in-house ourselves, or not, we don't have the,
Not to the extent that we could with this work. Yeah, we don't have the ability to put together a strategy. Yeah.
okay. Okay, any questions? No, well, I'm gonna move to number 3.
Okay, number
We're not
3.
trying to just breeze through these, but if we have questions,
Yep.
we'll just ask them.
So number 3 on
yeah.
page 13 is the cybersecurity infrastructure security positions. Again, we were hoping to have funding for both of these positions at a total cost of $180,000 per year. It's a sizable increase. But these would do things like risk assessments, risk mitigation, business continuity plans, disaster recovery plans, incident response reports. So these are all things that we would like to be doing now, but we just don't have the time to fit in with other priorities.
Okay. Okay, so clearly you have this one listed as department priority number 1A. I think it goes without saying, and listed as critical. Something that probably should be, certainly put as a priority through council. So I don't know if this committee agrees that we should at least be, looking at this from the perspective of the funding didn't come in, but we need to address this going forward. Again, it goes back to whether we do it internal or external or combination of both. I don't know, but I think it's something that certainly needs to be addressed. So CAO, I'm not sure if today we're just going through them and kind of endorsing which ones we want to prioritize, but I think I heard here today, this is one that we want to certainly look to be prioritizing. Okay. As a group, is that fair?
Yep. No, can I just go back to the grant proposal that we applied for? That was not to be permanent funding. That was just a fund position until, it was only an interim trial, right? So to carry it on, we'd have to carry it on through your initiative 3, number 3. But Rory, I'm looking through the budget, and like you cross paths with police services, corporate services. So where is cybersecurity under network support and maintenance agreements? Because I've looked under Everbridge system, that's EMO, Booking, ESR, ESRI, ERC, GIS, that's your GIS. Where's under here? What did we spend last year?
I would have to
Do you know the amount?
just to be sure. It would take me just a few
Okay.
minutes to find it, but
Okay.
I can. get
But
that
it would be-
information for you.
A significant increase now that we want to have a person. So the outsourcing that we did, I can't remember the name of the company that did that. The cybersecurity that set up the firewalls. And what does Eastlink provide for cybersecurity? Do they have firewalls and safety procedures in place to protect our system?
Your worship, can I just jump in there for a sec? I think it's probably better if we have this type of discussion kind of offline a little bit. We're probably getting in, you're asking some very specific questions that I don't think should be discussed in the.
That Eastlink doesn't, that they provide us
Whether
security?
they do or don't, I just think it's a discussion. Your line of questioning is not inappropriate, it's just not probably for a public discussion in the way in which we are, how we're doing our cybersecurity and our posture and things of that nature. I'm just thinking we should focus more
Okay,
on.
could I ask the question? Could you identify where it is in our budget that we pay out that amount of $60,000 to provide that extra protection?
Yeah, so I did find it. It's the security sensors. It's about 40,000 per year.
And
is what
that's
we're
under
currently-
service level agreements, desktop?
Yeah. It's under the network support and, what's
Oh,
the-
yeah.
network support and maintenance agreements, yeah.
What's it called?
Security sensor and SOC, it may not, I'm not sure which one you're looking at. so
Well, I'm
not
looking at the
sure.
budget.
I'm looking at
Yeah.
this year's budget. I don't have last year's in front of me, so I'm not sure exactly what it would show up as.
Yeah, I don't know, Mr. Chair, if I agree with you that this is, cybersecurity is something that we should do behind closed doors. I think that it's very important that we address the issue.
I'm not suggesting that we don't discuss it.
Yeah.
To a certain level, but.
Right.
We have to be mindful of what we are speaking of in a public way. And I'm saying that from a cybersecurity perspective. We
Yeah,
can't be giving
'cause
up
that's your background.
information and things that we do.
Yeah.
And things that we're, where we are, what tools we're using and things of that nature from an open perspective. I think if we focus on hand here, which is looking at these positions to address, things like risk assessment, business continuity, disaster recovery, et cetera. Yes, those are things that we need to do. And then the fallout of that is and things that we do internally would be internal.
Yeah, and I did point out that this budget crosses other departments, okay? EMO, police, so is IT taking on that expense in place of police services, EMO, or are they cost sharing it? How's it work? Could I ask that question?
Yeah, it's usually just all of the shared services as
Okay,
well as corporate
yeah.
services. We
Same thing that we could do with our fiber network, like shared services with departments, utilities. Yeah, okay. I think that this is a very important one, which is, you're looking at an information security officer, critical infrastructure security specialist. I'd be fully supportive of it.
Thank you. All right, moving on to the next initiative, agenda management software.
Yeah, so agenda management software is on page 15. Essentially, this is software that can be used to do the committee and council packages, as well as live streaming and kind of integrating all of that into one piece of software to make it easier for the public to access, as well as for council and staff to input data and access the data. So it's improved transparency and a single portal to sort all the data. We did do this, so not the previous budget, but the budget before we had put this through, it was approved. But when we went out for RFP, the prices that came back were a little bit higher, and we decided to defer. So we're just putting it back out there in case there's still appetite for it at the higher price point.
So these prices are reflecting what we received there?
Yeah.
Okay. So on this particular initiative, clearly lots of benefits to many people on this, ourselves included, council, staff, and public. However, if it comes down to, having to be more frugal with our spending this year across the corporation, we can certainly continue as is with the current state, and I see that's reflective here in the priority and that you have here. So certainly keep it on the agenda, or keep it on there, but when we have to start looking at what we take off, then these might be some of the low-hanging fruit.
So question of clarification. In 25-26 budget, planning asset management solution, do you have that on your screen there? That was 210,000. Does that cross hairs with this, or?
Sorry, so that is in this budget. That's the 210,000 with partner funding.
Yeah.
So that is the planning and asset management solution. Yeah, that's in here.
Right here, that's,
No, that's not the new initiative.
Okay.
Sorry, this was approved in the previous budget.
yes,
Yeah.
right here, I have it here.
Yeah.
And that was, for 1 year, was a contract, or?
It's kind of a 2 separate 3-year contracts, which it equates to a 4-year.
So is that a security feature?
Not really. There are security features involved, but it's not really a security thing. It's about providing services to the public.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm just going to continue if I don't hear any questions. Moving on to the next one, position for an IT specialist as a new initiative.
Yeah, and this is on page 17, the IT specialist. So this is a second IT specialist position, and this is intended to expand IT services for emergency services specifically. So they are, I would say, currently underutilizing technology from the IT perspective. We could do much better with the services that we have there. Some of the focus that we'd be able to do would be digital evidence management, body cameras, live video capture, computer-aided dispatch, incident occurrence reporting, and data visualization. So these are all areas that the expanded IT staffing level would allow us to focus on.
Do you foresee that position being somewhat solely dedicated to emergency services, or would that individual be able to operate from a shared perspective?
The objective would be to have a little bit of a rotation in there so that some of our other staff can step in and provide service to emergency services for vacation, things like that. But it
some
would be,
redundancy.
I would say, a priority for them, but not a 100% focus.
Okay, again, listed as a priority 3, but high public demand, important. Okay. Not hearing any questions on that.
And I
Roy,
believe,
on the page 19, I believe is, breaks it down a little bit more in line items here, is that correct?
on page 19, it's actually the capital budget breakdown.
Yeah.
So there's actually 9 items that are on the capital budget for IT this year. I'm going to go through them in kind of the order of priority, if that works for you.
Okay.
So number 1 is the annual computer refresh, and we're also including the council tablet replacements in there. So that's $160,000 for this year. I think I just have to move things over so I can see here. That's an increase of $40,000 from last year, and that's mostly to cover the council tablet replacements. That's most of the increase there. We're also looking at $15,000 for CPS rugged tablets. That's $10,000 less. Sorry, $10,000 less than we've spent this year for tablets for CPS, but we're just going through and replacing as needed. There's a few older vehicles that need replacement. Number 3 is our domain controller. That's been put off for a year already, so it is something that's a high priority for us. That's at $50,000. Number 4 is our CPS milestone server. That's the server that handles video for eWatch. Just needs some upgrades. Number 6 is expanded cell coverage for Simmons Arena. Oh, sorry, missed number 5. Number 5 is the full website redesign and a new platform. So that covers things like the contract work to do the actual new content plus the new provider and platform. Number 6, the expanded cell coverage for Simmons Arena. Number 7 is replacing the City Hall firewall. And number 8 is connecting to the utility fiber network. Number 9 is contingency. That's in case any servers fail that may be outside of warranty, but we're not budgeted for. It's just so that we can move forward on replacing those servers without having to go through council and get budget approval.
I'm just looking here, the 25-26 capital budget, it was 400, was it? That was what was approved in 25-26? Yeah,
Yeah.
and we're going up to 665 now?
Yeah.
665? And where are we at we're kind of in third quarter right now. Where do we anticipate we are with the forecast? 172, am I reading that correctly? Or
So-
are you 290, I guess?
Yeah, 290 is
Yeah,
the
290.
forecast, yeah.
So we're about 100 less, and that's just you might come in somewhere a little over that, so you're probably gonna be under what your capital was last year. So in some ways, you're going up about 335 so where's the bulk of that coming from?
So I would say there'd be three items there.
The new website would be one big piece, yeah.
New website is the big piece. The expanded cell coverage for Simmons
Yeah,
Arena is the
Simmons,
other.
yeah, okay.
And then the third item would be the utility network. We've been including that in the
Yeah,
budget
so
every
there's basically
year.
3 items that are driving that up this
Yeah.
year, yeah. Okay. 19, yeah.
19.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the,
So the list I'm looking at is finance server, GP medication, computers, rugged devices,
that's what we're-
lean LPR server,
So a lot,
Parkdale streaming technology, fiber network cabling, network modernization. Again, these are crossing with other departments, police, fire. Again, shared funding through the other departments, or are we just taking it all?
it's funded through IT, yeah.
Okay. Okay. And again, I want to go back to Simmons Cellular Extension. So we're going at 1, but what about our other facilities?
So the reason Simmons has been targeted is because it's the most noticeable area for poor cell coverage.
Oh, I know.
Our other arenas have not been as poorly serviced, we'll say.
Okay, so Cody Banks is fine.
It's workable, we'll say workable, yeah.
Okay. And by increasing, the cellular extension, does that also go over to operational? Because there will be an operational expense, correct?
There shouldn't be.
Okay.
It should be a one-time thing. It may have to be revisited, say, in 5 years. There may be need for upgrade.
Okay. And just a last question, Mr. Chair. So when we talk about fiber network, that was in last year's budget. Is that working with what we got there, or is that doing it on our own? I ask this question every year.
Is that the connecting into the utility fiber network?
Oh, okay.
a corporation to connect into it.
Yeah. So it's the fiber network cabling, it's connect into the utility fiber network.
Yeah.
So that's just when that network is complete. It's just, there are some pieces where if we want to connect in on the corporate side to save some money on other services, we'll have that ability to do so.
So last year, we budgeted $50,000 for fiber network cabling.
Yep.
Expenditure, can you tell me where it is, or?
It still has not happened because the network has not been completed
Okay.
yet, so we haven't been able to connect into it.
Okay, so again, that's why with the Innovation Task Force, IT services working together with our water and wastewater utility, we can get this moving, because I was in Stratford, Ontario, for the Communities in Bloom's annual meeting, and their whole municipality has fiber network that they use for their own municipal services and provide for their citizens, residents, and commercial entities. So just wanted to add that there, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Worship.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for that, Rory. Clearly, again, a number of new capital initiatives. If it comes down to decisions that need to be made, there are obviously some areas here. We have a website currently right now. We could continue with that as status quo. We could not address Simmons, et cetera, but hopefully these things get recognized as priorities going forward for the rest of council, and we will see kind of where things come out. So if you're all done, I'll call up, if there's no questions for Rory, I'll call up Jessica next. Thank you, Rory, for your presentation.
Thanks, Rory.
I think, Jessica, you have one item, I believe, on your,
Good afternoon, correct, one item. Happy to present the draft operational budget for the 2026-27 fiscal year for the Communications Department. We're proposing a status quo operating budget of $46,500 for the 2026-27 fiscal year. We are recommending a small reallocation of funds to address an increase in the annual subscription cost for the city's digital engagement platform, charlottetownhall.ca. This would involve reallocating some funds for staff development to the engagement line item and would not result in any net increase to the department's operating costs. Happy to take any questions.
Well, albeit only one item, it still is important and does not add any additional budget increase or pressures. So I think that would probably be pretty standard and status quo going forward. Any questions?
No, just want to say that the department's doing a great job. Reaching out into the community.
There you go. Yeah, no, there.
Hopefully we can get an IT person there to do your social media because you're trying to do everything. So thanks, Jessica, for everything you do.
We'll be fully staffed up very soon, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll be watching.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to move on to Melanie, I believe, has a budget item as well, or items for strategic initiatives.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay.
Good afternoon. So I am sharing with you the strategic initiatives proposed budget draft. I apologize for the few pages that are difficult to follow, so I guess we'll look at page 22 in your package, and then I'm going to skip over to page 26 to 28, where you'll see a clearer summary. So with this budget, there is the status quo line items, and then there's also two new projects that are creating the brunt of the cost, both a new community survey and the development of a draft new strategic plan that would be ready in time for new council to engage in it and determine the final direction. Both of those items are on our current strategic plan 2022 to 2026 to be completed next year. Leading into this, significant research into previous RFPs and proposals, what other municipalities have done, what's worked well, what hasn't, both here and there, to come up with kind of that next step plan, and then to look at previous cost and recommendations and build out the current cost in 2026. So I'll move over to page 26. At the top, you'll see a summary of the overall budget. The status quo items are there, and circled is the major project cost. There are two projects within that. The first priority identified was the new strategic plan, and the second priority is the community survey. While they are prioritized 1 and 2, both kind of require each other to advance. For the new 4-year strategic plan is development of a resident, council, and staff-informed new 4-year strategic plan with an action plan with milestones that goes from project initiation to a draft with options for the new council to then engage in and finalize and determine the direction they wish to go. So that would be the timeline. The impact is we'll have a council-directed, staff-informed strategic plan to guide our priorities, action, and strategic direction over the next 4 years, with a minor cost built in each year to review our status and to maintain constant updates. So we're following our strategic plan, we're doing regular updates, we're monitoring it, and we're bringing that to committee. Engagement is really important. There's both the staff focus groups and planning sessions, having all staff vet on the plan, having current council in advisory function provide advice, and to have the new council then determine the final direction, along with public engagement sessions and the survey, which the survey consultant would do, allowing us to survey the community to get a touch point on current needs, issues, trends, and advice that would then inform the strategic plan as well. In the cost calculations, we just looked at the previous cost, the CPI calculations, which totaled an estimated cost in 2026 of $156,000. And then there is out-of-scope costs that consultants have And the process has from the consultants' travel to public engagement sessions, et cetera. We're aware, looking at what other municipalities have done and what we have done, that perhaps some of the best talent with strategic plan may be outside of Atlantic Canada, but it would be very important they partner with someone or that there is a local presence because of the significance of the demand on that in-person consultation sessions. So with that, we included both cost, and we know it's very important having that council piece, both advisory and then directing the final product when new council is elected in. Also from Michael, the director of Halifax, he said it's important to also look at election platforms during the development of the strategic plan to incorporate that so the new council sees their priorities reflected. The community survey looked at the previous cost, adding CPI. The cost is estimated at $42,712. We'd like to, and there is no a change from that cost. That is typical standard cost. The only difference would be is a determination on how we want to approach telephone versus online versus both. And so we're looking at various quotes and recommendations to perhaps bring some options here. And that is the summary of the total.
Some feedback there. All good? Okay, sorry. Thank you. Thank you for that, Melanie. So Melanie, obviously some obvious questions here that I've asked others as well. The bulk of your operational requests here, aside from the status quo, would be for those two initiatives to the tune of $226,000 roughly. With the work that we did previously for our 2022-2026 strategic plan, do we see the ability to use that framework internally to initiate a new strategic plan going forward under, say, yourself or other staff and all staff, for that matter, and the CAO, and maybe partially using some professional services outside to help in areas that we may need to augment some resources, not entirely the whole thing. So I guess just kind of really comes down to, like I've said to the others, if we have to make some decisions through our budgets, I think it's important that we continue to have strategic plans going forward. But we may have to look at what that looks like internally using what we have in place right now and the existing framework that we've implemented 3 years ago or so. So I know it's a tough question to answer, but it's something you need to consider, I guess.
Thank you, Chair. No, that's a very good question, and it was something I left out of the report. So that is the goal when we are with this cost and we're approaching the strategic plan, is that we want a framework so that in the future it doesn't cost as much. No, the current strategic plan can't be used as a template, but we hope this next one can be used as a template. So the first most difficult plan is the first one. You're starting from scratch, and then you have to learn from that and then develop what you really want in that second plan. So things like an action plan with milestones and a strategic plan that can be used as a template in the future. So looking at that, unfortunately, the current plan was a starting point, and the second one, the goal is to create something that can be used as a template in the future.
Thank you. Well, we'll certainly have to take that under consideration and when we're making our decisions. Okay, any questions for Melanie? So I think we're going to then move into...
No, Mr. Chair, I just wanted to go back to page 23, Melanie. This is in all our reports, strategic alignment, our guiding principles, our commitments, pillar, governance, and civic engagement. So we note those in reports that are submitted to council. Do they check off the boxes of the actions that are in the strategic plan, or is it just to cite where it falls within the strategic plan? Like, I know it's there for a lot of reports that come into council. Could you clarify that, please?
Yes, through the chair to you, Mayor. And this is one of, to your point, the strategic plan, the merits of it is it helps direct every report that comes into committee from any department around what that focus, what that priority, what that recommendation is. With the strategic plan providing overall oversight, the key pillar is governance and civic engagement. But to your point, after I submitted this strategic plan and the community survey covers all 4 pillars. So for this report, I should have listed the other 3 pillars.
Right. So, Mr. Chair, I'm just, like, strategic plans are for NGOs, government, business, and so forth. And on page 26, I think we went out to tender, and we expended, what, $136,121, and then there was money set aside for, I think, out-of-scope fees, which total the whole report or study cost $184,000. So we're going to do a new one for 2630. Are we going to move away from those pillars? Like, what about updating what we have? And do you have, like, I'm trying to find, I got the strategic plan open. Who did this strategic plan for us? Who was I know that Curly Mayu was the coordinator. So was the company out of Halifax?
Through the chair to the mayor. Yes, it was a company out of Halifax.
Yeah.
The strategic pillars are a wonderful starting point. You're right. We're not going to abandon that. We'll add to that. Carly did have to redo the report, so I guess that was one of the lessons learned is we are looking for a template and an approach that gives us a report format that we can dust off, revisit, and just update every 4 years. So Carly took what they did and redid it to the best of her ability, and then Upland came in at the end to do the action plan. So this time we're looking for someone that can do it all to the best possible standard that can be used in the future. And so yes, it was out of Halifax, and then Upland helped us
So it was Upland that did the report?
through the chair to your worship. It was Group ATN.
What was that again?
Group ATN out of Halifax.
Okay. Okay. No, the reason I asked, Mr. Chair, again, a strategic plan, and I know we refer to it in all the reports, and we do have actions associated with each of the strategies that we set out. Like, openness and transparency and good governance is going to, I don't think those pillars are going to move.
No, for sure. A lot of this will continue to carry over for the life of any strategic plan. But
Yeah.
those are the pillars and the goals set out by the corporation, and some will change, some will continue.
Yeah.
That's just the evolution of any strategic plan. That's why I brought the point up. I think, we need to look at what we can use from what we've already have in front of us, and that's why I asked the question of, can we do a lot of this internally? I think if this is really going to come down to, tightening the spend across the corporation, but we're going to have to look at these areas and say, what can we do internally? What is our minimal viable product that we can get by with going forward?
Yeah.
And it might be just, like I say, continuing with the current plan, updating it based on the action items that we didn't complete, and aligning with a lot of the same objectives and goals that we had set out in 2022 to 2026 and so on. So I don't know if we need to, I don't know where we need to go with this
Yeah.
and bring someone in completely and build out a big framework, but ideally it'd be great if we had all kinds of money, we'd do all those things, but that's not the reality of where we're likely to be at the end of the day. But appreciate putting forward your request and your ask. If you don't ask, you can't get type of thing. So there will be decisions that will be made.
And Mr. Chair, as this report was adopted in 2023, we're updating it as we move forward. So I think that's an option, a refresh, a complete overhaul refresh. And, yeah, I think I agree with what you're saying. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Melanie. If there's no other questions, I'm going to hand it over to our CAO. He is going to talk about the budget for city government. And again, I think this one always gets brought up in the way of what represents city government. I think this is the administration level, correct? When we talk about city government more so than council. I think this is council and
Yes, thank you,
administration.
Chair. Regarding the city government services budget, we will be maintaining a status quo budget with increases in 3 line items, $10,000 in office supplies, $3,000 in miscellaneous, and additional $25,000 in reports and studies in relation to the Innovation Task Force. So a total of $38,000 increase to our status quo budget, Chair, for your consideration.
So just on that, CAO, when you're referencing that and following along here on page 31, again, I just want to be clear here in my understanding, because I know it gets brought up each year, but on the page 31, when we talk about city government, that is the administration. I believe it's yourself, the staff, the mayor and council office, if I remember correctly. Can anybody confirm that?
The staff of the mayor's office, that's correct.
But also includes, does it include yourself in there? And others?
Yes,
Yeah.
because
It does,
The
yeah.
salaries and
Yeah.
benefits.
Remember we had
yes.
this last year,
Yeah,
the discussion.
it
about
does,
this,
yes.
okay. So if I'm looking here at the 25, 26, it was about 3.1 million. We're still around 3.1 million with, a slight increase of, $40,000 roughly. Is that what I'm thinking? Is that what I'm seeing here?
yes,
Okay. And then.
That's correct.
Strategic priorities under that section. And that would be what Melanie was presented, so it's kind of wrapped up underneath there. Okay,
So, Mr. Chair, if you go to your budget, 25, 26, it lists the salaries and benefits, CAO, directors, executive resource and privacy coordinator, administrative assistant to mayor and council, procedure and records coordinator, strategic initiatives officer, communication staff 2, senior communications, they're all listed right
listed
there.
there.
So if there's any
I
question.
just wanted to refresh my
Yeah,
my memory of that, yeah, I don't have that in front of me. Okay, no, that's fair, I'm not questioning it, I just wanted to
Nope.
make sure I was in line with that. Okay, well, that's, when you're asking for status quo, I guess there's not much to discuss there unless we have to look to see if we make any cuts in that area. Okay, well, from a budgetary perspective, I think that kind of ends the discussion on the budget items. Before we move on, is there any questions from the deputy who's online? I don't know if you've been raising your hand or not, so I apologize if you have, and I've skipped over you.
No, I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Okay, and Councillor McKinnon? No questions further? Okay, well, we'll move on to, we do have another report here regarding the ward assignment of annexed area of Marshfield. And Tracy is going to speak to that.
Thank you, Chair. I'll just make this quick. The report in your package, I think it starts at page 32. The report relates to the proposed assignment of the previously annexed property of Marshfield to an existing city ward. So basically, there's more information in the report. I'm just going to summarize. So in 2018, landowners in the Marshfield area requested annexation to the city to support future commercial and industrial development, which was approved through an order in council, which was effective June 1st, 2022. Staff has since identified, and this was fairly recently, that the annex lands were never formally assigned to a ward. However, the area borders Ward 9 and contains only one residential dwelling, meaning its inclusion should not significantly affect elector balance. With consultations with municipal affairs, they have confirmed the lands may be assigned to Ward 9 by council resolution. Doing so would require updates to GIS mapping, notification to Elections PEI, and an amendment to the city's election bylaw, with a full ward boundary review to follow after the 2026 municipal election, which would be done by the Electoral Boundaries Commission. So basically, the staff recommendation is that the annexed lands of Marshfield identified, and there's several PIDs. I don't know if I need to read those out. You wish to? Be assigned to Ward 9 Stone Park, and that the polling division number 7, East Royalty Road, be designated as the polling division for those lands.
So Tracy, just I think what's important to note here, and the obvious is, that is heading out north would be on the left-hand side, which primarily is all of Ward 9 on the left-hand side. The right-hand side,
Is
to a
Ward
certain
10.
level, being all of Ward 10, correct? So that
Exactly.
would be the obvious why put that one in there. So just for the purpose of,
Yeah, that is listed in the,
yeah, just want to state that. So,
There is a
and then
map
having,
there.
although there's a number of PIDs that are impacted, there is only one single-family dwelling from,
that's what our GIS technician had recently,
yeah.
found out,
And then,
yes.
of course, I believe in the 2030 municipal election, that's maybe when the boundaries will be redrawn. I think
No, it's
every-
after
every
this
two-
election
that's what I mean.
coming
So
up.
after this one, but leading up to the 2030 is what I meant to, is what I mean. So, okay, so from us here, are we just endorse and move this forward as a resolution to council, or does this go to the commission for?
No, it'd be, as I said, municipal affairs confirmed that we would just require a resolution of council.
Resolution of council?
And
Okay.
then we would just proceed from there to ensure that Elections PEI is aware.
Aware, and
Yeah.
then, okay, for the 2026 election. Okay,
Exactly,
perfect.
yes.
So
Yeah,
I'll second
Yeah.
it. So
okay.
resolution's on the floor. Mr. Chair, so on page 34, we passed a resolution to recognize IRAC proposal to restructure the city's, Charlottetown's boundaries. Now, it went 6-3 vote. So we have to have another vote on what you're proposing in your report, on the PIDs and so forth?
Well, to assign it to a specific ward, like
That's
that's
it.
not outlined in the order in council. And that's what municipal affairs
Has told us to do.
has told us, yes.
Okay, so we keep asking, I've asked Public Works, and the chair sits in Public Works, we need to move the sign. The city of Charlottetown sign is still on the east side of M&M Furniture. It has to move east to the corner of York Road, and that's not for your
that's
work,
a
but I just want to get that in the record. We've been talking about this now, 2021, we've annexed this.
We're going to keep talking about it because we're not going to do it here today.
No, but it's on the public record.
So I think we'll bring that up in the Public Works, because if it becomes official.
Oh, I will.
At our next, if this resolution makes it to council next Tuesday and is passed, then that gives you more weight in your discussion to have the sign moved. You're welcome. Thank you very much. Questions, Colin? I guess. We've already done that. Well, I just want to say thank you very much for all the work that was done in preparing your operational and capital budgets. As we move forward, as council moves forward in deliberating and working with all the other departments, I'm sure there will be some decisions that'll have to be made in regard to priorities of these initiatives. But there was some really good things brought forward here today, and hopefully most, if all or most or some, can get approved and move forward in helping you do the work that you do. So thank you for preparing that today. And without further ado, we'll
Justin?
ask for a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, no, go ahead.
Just one
Councilor
question, I guess, for Tracy. With the annexation, is there any residential plan for that, or is it all commercial and industrial?
I think that'd be more a planning question.
Question.
I wouldn't be able to answer that.
Okay, just it's stated in there, but industrial commercials, nothing was stated for residential. Thanks.
As far as I'm aware, it's not officially zoned at this
We've had
point
some-
for the city.
There was a presentation at one point in time here, but again, more on the planning side, but. Okay, so do I have a motion to adjourn? Thank you. Second, thanks very much. Thank you, everyone. Have enjoy your day.